And I'm also doing something different. I don't know if y'all know anything about this, but I'm also recording on um, Skype, and all of you have access to Skype for Business. So just thought I'd tell you that. So if you see two videos on YouTube, one of them is Skype, and the other one is this software that I'm using right up in here. So I did that just in case the microphone picks up better with one other than the other. I mean, I don't know. I can't get the microphone settings on here. IT cannot get the microphone settings. So I'm just trying to do the best I can to get as much sound as possible. And they're trying to work on if I need to plug in a external microphone and just let it hang down or what. But I don't know. They'll figure it out. But anyway, we got some questions to go over, and we're going to go over those today. And it looks like they're in order, some kind of order. So we'll just take it. And if I see a question that is not test material, I'll let you know. So the first one, 2.119/4. 2.119/4. This question is talking about probably increasing and decreasing values. Now I'm just going to have the and I usually talk about this with domain and range, and I'm going to incorporate domain and range in on this also. But right quick, I'm going to do this and make sure that it's, because that thing messes up sometimes, and I'm also going to do this before I start writing. Okay. Now I do explain some things a little bit out of the ordinary, and when it comes to increasing and decreasing values, it's out of the ordinary. But there's only one set of values that is with the y-axis, and that's the range. All the other values that are given are in terms of the x values. So we need to start with talking about that. The domain that one's not working, and the other one is not here. Okay. People stealing stuff. Oh, I know what's wrong. There. Now it should work. Somebody messes with these things. That's why we have to go through and redo everything. There we go. Domain, as I said before, has to deal with the x-axis, or the x values. Increasing and decreasing values have to do with the x-axis. Then the only thing that you have to worry about as far as the y-axis is the what? The range. So I want everybody to write that down, because y'all, for some reason, try to put increasing and decreasing values in terms of y, and that should tell you that you're wrong, because the only thing that's in terms of y is the range. Okay? So, one thing that I'd like to reiterate on this problem is these guys right here. What are they? Arrowheads. Arrowheads means that this function keeps on what? Keeps on going. Never stops. So you need to make a note of that. Okay, it just keeps on going. So therefore, the domain of this function, what values are being taken up for the domain of this function? The domain is all real numbers, because this keeps going and going and going and going and going and going until all the x values are taken up with this function. So I'll take my handy dandy highlighter. the domain of this function is all real numbers. You can go over here and you put all real numbers. Now, most of the time it's going to be all real numbers if you have what on the end? Arrowheads, and it's a continuous type function. Most of the time, your domain is going to be all real numbers. The only time the domain is affected is when the instructor or the instructions, or if it's a radical or a rational. Those three things. Most of the time, if it's not one of those three things, it's going to be all real numbers. The range is with the well, I'd like to pick a color if you don't mind. Let's go with green. So all the functions, all the arrowheads say is that it's a function. But where does the range stop? The range stops at 5. So the range for this function is negative infinity to what? 5. And you touch 5 and you never touch infinity. So there's the domain and the range. And we've got a blue line that arbitrarily drew itself on this. It's always nice to have arbitrary blue lines show up. Now, what do you do for increasing and decreasing values? Well, increasing and decreasing values basically means what is x when values are going up and down. Okay? What are the x values doing? Or what describe what's going on with the y values at the x values. Is it increasing or decreasing? Well, I like to tell students just think of a plane. Okay? And when you think of that plane, when you are driving a plane or when you're flying a plane, whatever you want to call it, not going to let me do it, but you're supposed to. Oh, great, we're moving the whole plane. I swear. Yeah. Oh, great. Hey, there we go. Now I can't move it. This sucks. There's our plane. Okay. Now, a plane not only goes on the runway horizontally. A plane goes horizontally, and then it what? Takes off, and then it comes what? Down. Now let's see. This looks like a plane. It's going up, going up, going up. When it gets to a certain altitude, then what does it do? Flies. And then when it gets to its landing,
increases altitude.
okay, everybody got that? So the increasing and decreasing is pertaining to altitude. So if anything's pertaining to increasing and decreasing, it's the y values. But you don't put the y values. You put the x values. So from down here, oh great, I done messed up my plane. It's terrorism, Al-Qaeda, ISIS blew up the plane. Oh gosh, I offended somebody. Oh gosh, forget it. Anyway, here we go. From infinity, this plane is doing what? What's it doing? Increasing. So from negative infinity to 3, what's that plane doing? Okay, and from 3 to 6, what's it doing? It's constant. And from 6 to infinity, what's it doing? And that's how you read increasing and decreasing. Okay, so if you wanted to put increasing, you would say increasing from negative infinity to 3, and it touches 3, and then it's constant from 3 to 6. And then what is it doing from 6 to infinity? It's decreasing. And that's how you read increasing and decreasing values. Notice I read it from left to right. Why did I read it from left to right? Because for 50 years, or 49, 48 years, whatever I am, I have been reading from left to right. So I'm not going to start arbitrarily in the middle of college algebra, start reading right to left. Masalama. Okay? I'm not going to read from right to left, and that's what y'all do. Not y'all in here, but students. All of a sudden, y'all start reading from right to left. I don't know why. It's increasing from negative infinity to, or positive infinity to 6, and then from 6 to 3. How much sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that's what some of y'all do. And this is another thing y'all do. Right here, I want to show you something. This is off the subject a little bit. This is what y'all do. Y'all want to graph a line, and y'all pick points. This is what y'all do. Now 4, 2, 0, -1, 6, 5. What planet do y'all live on? We read from left to right, and y'all do this. You know, I always tell my students, read from left to right. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. But this is what y'all do. Tell me what kind of pattern that is. And then y'all wonder why y'all can't do math or algebra. I know why. One thing y'all need to keep doing is reading left to right, and that kind of helps things out. It kind of keeps everything what? Consistent. So read from left to right on your increasing and decreasing values. It'll help you out tremendously. If I could get this thing to work. There. So what does it ask? Let's see what it asks. I have no idea what it asks, but I'm just assuming that's what this is. Okay, here we go. It's increasing. I don't know if it wants negative infinity or not, but I'm going to put parentheses. Oops, that's 9. Negative infinity, comma, the 3, and brackets. So it wants it written another way. I don't care, but that's right. Let's see what they want. What do they want? Okay, now I disagree with them because do you touch 3 here? Yes, you do. So should you include 3? Yes. What they're saying is it should be a parentheses because you're not increasing and you're not constant at the same time. What does that mean? Michael Jordan. Is there any point in time where Michael Jordan flies? Yes or no? It's a simple question. Yes or no? Got 2 people out of 30 saying no. The rest of y'all are going. I just asked for a yes or no. Yes, he does fly. Any basketball player that jumps up in the air and shoots a basketball or dunks or whatever, they're actually what? Flying for a nanosecond at point of vertex of a parabola. They're neither going up or what? Down. If they're neither going up or down, then they're actually what? They're actually flying. It may be for a nanosecond. But when you go up to a certain point, and what I mean is y'all all know the shot that everybody talks about. There's the basketball goal, and Michael Jordan starts at the top of the key right here, and he actually comes up like this. Well, there's one point that he is neither going up or down. And that point is called the vertex of the parabola. Okay? And at that point, you're either going up or down. And there's logic here. Instead of putting a bracket here, they're saying that at this point, you're neither going increasing or you're what? You're constant. You're at a transition point, just like here. So that's their thinking. That's why this is a parenthesis. Is it splitting hairs? Yes, it is. I would be very lenient on this. So if you did that on a test, I would probably, just say that's why. I would tell you, and I would give you the points. Okay. What about an algebraic equation? If it was an algebraic equation, and I was saying less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, or less than or greater than, then I would be more stringent on whether it was a bracket. But at this point, I'm not going to get into molecular physics, or whatever it's called, and get into the physics of you getting to a certain point and whether you're in the realm of increasing or whether you're in the realm of being constant. I'm not going to do that in a college algebra class, okay? So I'm going to be a little bit lenient on that, okay? So that's why they don't have a bracket here. If you put a bracket, we're going to put you in front of the classroom and we're going to stone you. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. No, we're not going to do that. It's not that big of a deal. Okay? Everybody with me? So the next one, where is it? What does it say here? Decreasing. So they don't want a bracket here. So it's decreasing from 6 to what? 6 to infinity. So you put a 6 here. Well, I can't get nothing to work today, so. Okay, does anybody know why this thing's not working? There, I hit mouse. Let me try this. Okay, it's not working, I guess. Okay, this is working, so that means this is working, so I should be able to click on this, and I should be able to click on this, but that's not working, so. Okay, I guess we'll just go down here and nothing's working. What? No, that's working. That's working. I should be able to click on there. We'll try it again. Hold on.
Yeah, you just need to reload it.
Okay. So parentheses, negative infinity, you got to redo it, comma, 3, and parentheses, because we're saying that the increasing is not increasing, and it's also not constant at that point in time. And then decreasing from 6 to infinity, and put parentheses on that. And I can't put parentheses, I didn't put the 6 in there. And constant from 3 to what? I tell some people to put a car right here. Read from left to right, put your little car right here. And that car is increasing from negative infinity to 3, and then it's constant from 3 to 6, and then it's going downhill from 6 to infinity. But the only value that is in terms of y is the what? range. That is the only value that is in terms of y. So if you're putting y values, in terms of this, it's automatically wrong because you're not supposed to be doing that. Okay? Range is the only thing that's supposed to be in terms of y. Capiche? All right, next question. That's 2.1, that's 2.2, 29/13. 2.2, 29/13. And that last question is a test question. That last question I have put on test before. What the heck is this? This looks like a this isn't y'all's questions, is it? Hold on a minute. This is Math 120. Get that out of here. Sorry. 2.3, 11/2. 2.3, 11/2. This is a test question. I'll blow it up for you because I know that most people that can't see usually sit at the back of the room. And the ones that ask me to blow it up all the time are usually the ones that sit in the back of the room. So I'll go ahead and blow it up. Now, absolute value, absolute vodka. Value and vodka start with a what? V. Alcoholics. So, I'm just going to draw a big graph here. So, disadvantages of blowing stuff up is not having it where you can reach it. There. So I'm just going to draw a graph, and I'll do it in black. Okay, I've done hit you twice. There. There's my black graph, and I'm going to make the y sub 1 is equal to x. I'm going to make it basic, so it's black. There's the absolute value. Now, what does x minus 7 mean? Well, the 7 is in the absolute value mark, so that means it's attached to the x. So that means it's a horizontal shift of 7 to the what? Right. 7 to the right. So in blue, I'm going to go 7 to the right. And I'm going to draw the same graph like that. And that's the blue. The red one is plus 3. So that means 3 to the what? 1, 2, 3. And I'll draw the same graph there. That is a test question, and you could probably see that question in any type of parabola, or it's called horizontal shifting. So that's a very popular question on the test. I don't know how they want you to do it, so we'll look at the handy dandy graph and let's see what it says do. Here's the absolute value right there. And I guess 1 to 1, so I'm going to put 1 to 1 right there. So there is the black graph. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. And I'm going to put a 1 to 1 there. There's that graph. And then I'm going to move 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put a 1 to 1 there. Why am I doing 1 to 1? Because it's x. absolute value of x, that's y is equal to x, 1 to 1. And there's the 3 graphs, and we hit check, and we feel good about ourselves. So we don't have to put smokestacks on a Honda Civic. Or on a Ford Ranger with a 4-banger in it. You ever seen one of those? Yeah, I'm cool. I got a smokestack coming out of a Ford Ranger with a 4-banger, 4-cylinder gas engine in it. Oh! Next question. Y'all learn so much in here, don't you? All right. 2.319/4. 2.319/4. Another test question. And I'm going to let you, I'm going to move it over so I don't need any, I can't see. Move it over. There it is. Write them down. And if you got a piece of graph paper, that'd be the best place to put this one. But if you don't, then you can just sketch it out the best way you can. So, take our handy dandy virtual pen selector and put it over here. And I'm going to take my handy dandy straight edge. That don't look good. That pretty much sucks. There you go. Now the first one is y is equal to x squared minus 5. But I'm going to put x squared up here because I want x squared to be my basic model. There's the basic model. Okay, y is equal to x squared. Now, is the x squared, is the negative 5, is it inside the square or is it outside the square? It's outside the square, so it is a vertical what? Vertical shift. So I'm going to take my handy dandy green marker and I'm going to circle this one in green, and I've got a vertical shift of 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I draw the same exact parabola. I try to do so much for my classes, and it's like everything I do just gets pulled back the opposite way. Here we go. So that first one is right there. And a lot of people say, well, Hubert, I thought you said the negative 5 was the horizontal shift. It would have been if it looked like this. Y is equal to x minus 5, quantity what? There's your horizontal shift of 5 to the right or 5 to the left or whatever. It's got to be inside the square. Okay? And that's not what that is. That's x squared minus 5. This is x minus 5 quantity squared. So there's the difference. All right? Now, we'll color this one blue. And tell me what's going on here. Well, do you have a vertical shift of negative 5? Yes. So it's right here. Okay, there's your vertical shift of negative 5. So it's the same. But this guy right here is between 0 and what? And if it's between 0 and 1, that means it's what? It's wider, meaning that it's being stretched, pulled along the x-axis, or what? Compressed along the y-axis, so it's going to look like this. So your answer to the second one is this guy. I appreciate the cooperation with technology. Like everything I do up here says, nope, can't do that. That'll make everything easy. But it kind of would help to have training on something like this. But we don't need any training. Just put the projectors up and the teachers will figure it out. There. So the second one is that blue one right there. All right, then what about this guy? The red. Well, we still have the right here, but what does the 3 do?
Shrink.
Is it going to be the same size as the black one, or is it going to be skinnier?
Skinnier.
It's going to be skinnier, so it's going to look something like this. It'll be skinnier than. Of course, that doesn't look like a parabola. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but try this again. There. I have to hold my finger perpendicular to the wall. And that's what those 3 look like. So if you were going to, I don't know how you would do it on this thing over here. I'm going to try to do it, but first I'm going to clear it. All right, the first one's x squared minus 5. So I'm going to take the parabola, and minus 5 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they're going to tell you how to do it. I do not have any kind of compression or vertical stretching. So 1 is good there. Hard vertical shift is what? -5. So you put in -5 or -50. Really screw it up. And that should be it. There. Everybody with me? Okay, now do you hit? How do you get to the next problem? Oh, check answer. And you don't like that. Oh, you got to put all 3. I don't know how you put all 3 on there. But anyway, there's all 3. We'll have to do that again. Let's see. Okay, here's a similar exercise. First one, I'll just, there. -4, so we put a vertical shift of -4. And there's that. And then we'll hit that again. And then we'll put one, we'll hit it just to hit it. And it's a vertical stretch, horizontal stretch, so we're widening it. So that'd be 1/3. And a horizontal vertical shift of -4. I'm trying, people, just bear with me. There we go. We feel good about ourselves. Hit parabola again and just hit there, and then put in -4 on vertical shift, and on it's being compressed or vertically stretched, so it's skinny, so it'd be vertical stretch of 1/3, or what, 3? And there we go. And we feel good about ourselves. You don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it, but why don't it like it? Did I not put 3 in there?
I thought it was -5.
No, that's in 3 right there.
At the verticals.
I'm not worried about it. I know I'm right, so I don't know what they're doing. But let's go to another problem. It's going to stop the world from turning, but where is my... Really? You're going to log me out in the middle of the class? Oh yeah, I forgot I'm the only teacher that does this, so maybe by the time I retire, there'll be other teachers doing this and won't log you out every 5 seconds. It's all a conspiracy. Y'all know that, don't you? And we all know whose fault it is. Bush's fault. Good. All right, 2.3. That was 19, right? This is 23. 2.3, 23/5. Lord, how do they screw up these problems? Let me get it turned. Hold on. There we go. How's that? I'm trying to fix it where y'all can see because, you know, the ones that can't see sit in the back of the room. Or they sit in that corner back there. Yeah. The graph of y is equal to f of x is in red. Everybody with me? Has been transformed to the graph in blue over here. Give the equation. Okay, so let's blow it up so y'all can see even better. Thing old short bus size. Thing old, there you go. All right, now I rode a short bus for 2 weeks. First or second grade. All right, so we've got a horizontal shift of how many?
3.
How about 4? Yeah. 4 to the what? 4 to the right, so that means what? Negative 4. So x minus 4, quantity squared. That takes care of that. What about vertical shift? 3. So what goes out here? Plus 3. And then what goes out in front of this guy right here?
Negative.
A negative. Why is it a negative number? Well, it's a negative 1 because it's the same size. It hasn't said anything about compression or it hasn't said anything about stretching. So that means that it's the same parabola, only that it's turned what? The opposite direction. So that's what the negative is. So there's your... So your final answer should be f of x, or g of x, whatever, is equal to negative x minus 4, quantity squared, plus 3. And we just took out the 4. And that's a test question. That's a real good test question. Next, 2.6, 2.6, 1/1. All right, write that one down. It says let f of x be 5x to the third and g of x be 4x plus 8. Find f minus g of x. You got to speak like that and hold your pinky up because you're not a redneck anymore. You got to be doing stuff fancy. See if you can write it in pre-algebra terms. Pre-algebra would be what? 5x to the third minus what? 4x plus 8 in parentheses, and then do it. That's all you're doing. If you can't do it, just consider yourself what? A failure. Good job. You will have a greater attitude when you get out of here. When in doubt, quit. And if you can't do it, you're a what? Failure and should live in a ditch, cardboard box, ditch, yeah. They stole that idea from me. You know, DirecTV did when they said live in a ditch. They stole that idea from me. Y'all seen that commercial a long time ago? Don't live in a ditch. Get DirecTV. So many ideas have been stolen from me. Another idea that was stolen from me was Alien versus Predator. That idea was stolen from me. And Jason versus Freddy. That idea was stolen from me. I've got another idea. Another idea is Predator versus Jason and Michael Myers. That's another one of my ideas. Huh? I think Jason would beat him. Huh? Jason versus the Predator? Oh. Well, that was my idea. That'd be neat to have a movie, though, with Jason versus the Predator. And there was one more guy, I can't think. Let's say Jason, Michael Myers, the Predator. No, Freddy. I don't like Freddy. I'm sorry. Who's the other guy? There's one more guy. No. I'll think of it eventually. Pinhead. Y'all. People that know who Pinhead are, y'all are warped, okay? I know who Pinhead is, so I'm warped too. This is a movie, I like it. Okay, I just never did get in a Hellraiser. Alright, let's forget about the pinkies and let's forget about the f of x is equal, and let's just do it. Pre-algebra. 5x cubed minus parentheses 4x plus 8. That's what you do. Pre-algebra. Distribute the what? The negative, Hubert. Thank you, class. And you get 5x cubed minus 4x minus 8. And that is f minus g of x. You do all the marks arbitrarily and you should do that. That's your answer. So just revert back to your pre-algebra days and you'll be okay. Now a lot of people say, well, how did that become a negative 8? Because that is a negative what out front? A negative 1, and to get rid of the parentheses, negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x, and negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. So that should be your answer. So you punch, which one is it? A. So you can feel good about yourself. And you don't have an orange face and a white neck if you're a female. 2.6, 23/13. And guys, orange face, white neck, run. Run as fast as you can because they psycho. What are you talking about?
Because they're orange.
Orange is Oompa Loompa. Orange face, white neck. That means they got on too much makeup. That means they're crazy and they'll take a sledgehammer to your headlights. All right. F of x is equal to 7x plus 4. G of x is equal to 4x minus 5. Oh, we need to do f plus g of x, f minus g of x, f times g of x, f divided by g of x, and f composed of g of x. So I would suggest you just go ahead and do your pre-algebra for the first 3 or 4. Do the pre-algebra like you learned, and then the last one we'll do together. Okay? I'm not going to do each one of them. I'll do all of them at one time. I'm going to take my handy-dandy snip tool. I hate the word snip. Any of y'all got words you hate? I asked that the other day and everybody said moist. What is it about moist? I don't have a problem with moist. I just hate the word snip. Moist. I don't understand that. Y'all got problems with moist? Y'all weird. Not as weird as snip, right? Anybody ever have besides a word you don't like? How about a number that you can't stand and says multiply or divide? Mine is 8. I hate 8. I hate 8, period. Some of y'all thinking, yeah, I do hate it. I hate 6s. Some of y'all just ain't gonna talk to me no matter what. So. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go to the whiteboard, and I'm gonna bring this in. Hopefully, I'm gonna bring it in. Y'all are so impressed. Hold your applause. There we go. So, let me move it over some. No, I'm just going to bring it down. Now, if you take this guy and you just write 7x plus 4 plus 4x minus 5, that's what you did in pre-algebra. And then 7x plus 4 minus 4x minus 5, that's your subtraction. And then 7x plus 4 times 4x minus 5, that's your multiplication. And really, there's nothing you can do with division. I'm going to go ahead and do it because 7x plus 4 divided by 4x minus 5, there's nothing you can do there. So there's that. Now you just have to do what you learned back in pre-algebra. What's 7x plus 4x? And what's 4 minus 5? So there's your first problem. I'm not going to ask you the domain because most of these are going to be the same domain, all real numbers, because it's not a fraction, except for here. That one's going to be different. Or it's not a radical, or I haven't restricted the domain as an instructor or the instructions. They haven't, like, used x is equal to 2 to positive negative 2 to positive 2. I haven't. So, here, you get 7x minus 4x plus 4 plus what? 5, because you distribute the negative. Here you distribute the positive, but it doesn't change anything. 7x is 3x. 7x minus 4x is 3x. And 4 plus 5 is what? Now, what's the domain of those two functions? That's not rhetorical, I'm asking you all. Huh? What's the amount of x's that you can put in for x?
Is it all real numbers?
All real numbers. Why? Because it's not a radical, it's not a rational, and it's not affected by the instructor or the instructions. What about this one? Use your FOIL method. Pronounce it however you'd like. FOIL! 7x times 20, that would be 28x squared. Did I tell you all the story of OIL? The second week or the second semester I taught, there was a woman, and she was from Pennsylvania, and she don't like this, and she said, she was very arrogant. And she said, FOIL! And everybody laughed at her, and she ran out of the room crying. I told y'all about that? Yeah, she showed up. Somebody finally took her book. She never did show back up. I gave her an F for the class. The best F I ever gave. That was the best feeling F I ever gave to this day. 7x, that's 28x squared, negative 35x plus 16x minus 20, and 35 plus 16 is what? Okay, negative, yeah, you're right. Negative 35x, thank you. Negative 35 plus 16, what does that come out to be? 19, so 28x squared plus the minus 19, sorry. Minus 19x minus 20. And what's the domain of that function? All real numbers. Most of the time, unless it's a radical or a rational, now this one we have to set the denominator equal to what? 0 here, because we can't have 0 in the denominator, so we've got to find out what gives us 0. And that's going to be 5/4. So x can be any number, but x cannot equal what? 5/4. So the domain on this function right here is all real numbers except x cannot equal 5/4. You need to make a note of that because that usually gets people. This one usually gets you on a test. Now we need to do the last part, which is fog. Not goth, but fog. Fog is F composed of G. I had one student one time said, you know, it took me all 14 weeks, but around 13 I figured out what you meant by fog. Well, at least it clicked. I know what goth is too. Goth is G composed of F. Yes, it is. Good job. I kept wondering through the whole semester, what was I talking about, fog and goth? I couldn't figure it out. So, fog. When you're doing fog, when you're doing F composed of G, that means you're going to rewrite F with big set for what? Set the parentheses, Hubert. Thank you, class. 7 parentheses plus 4. And what are we going to plug into that parenthesis right there? G. 4x minus 5. And now that's going to be 28x minus 35 plus 4. 28x minus what? 31. And what's the domain of 28x minus 31? All real numbers. And we're going to just put 3 in here. And I don't know what the answers, we got to answer each one 3 times. I ain't doing all that. But all real numbers. F composed of G, or F minus G. That's that. All real numbers. I'm not going to do all of these because that's going to take up more homework time. But you'll get the right answers. Okay? All right, let's do a nerd. Next one, 2.6, 61/5. 2.6, 61/5. All right, I'm going to let you do this one. I'm going to let you write it down. I'm going to let y'all do this one. Give y'all a minute or two to do it. They want fog and goth, and then fog. Never seen fog before. F-O-F, F composed of F. That's just a lot of work. I'd quit. I just wouldn't do it. F composed of G, I'm going to rewrite F in terms of what? That. G composed of F, I'm going to rewrite and then F composed of F, I'm going to rewrite F in terms of big sets of parentheses. So there's my three problems, and I'm going to fall down. F composed of G, we're going to take G and do what?
The parentheses over its square.
Right there, 36 minus x. And what happens to the square and the square root?
They cancel each other.
And that's 36 minus x, all real numbers. G composed of F, what are we going to plug in right here? Huh?
X squared.
And what's the square root of 36 minus x squared? 6 minus what? X, Hubert. That's right, class. And what are we going to plug into f of f? What are we going to plug in here? What is
Put
that?
X squared and
X
put a
squared.
square on the outside.
And that would be x to the what?
To the 4.
All real numbers. I doubt they took this down. I don't know if they took it all the way down. You don't have to. They could just, I think that's the answer. I don't know. Looks like they put that answer in. I don't know if that's the right answer or not. Let's see. I don't have, yeah. I got this wrong. Okay? They don't want you to simplify it. They just want you to do that. So we'll just erase that. All right? Question, gripe, complaint. All right, next one. (2.67/3). 2.67/3. Fog, F composed of G, and then after you get F composed of G, what do they want you to do? Plug in a -4, Hubert. That's right, class. Thank you for enunciating and not mumbling. Ms. Novak, what time's class over? Okay, thank you. I trust you, Ms. Novak. There's a few people in here would tell me 12 o'clock, and I'm not going to trust them.
We're 19 minutes late.
You're one of those people I wouldn't trust. So, f negative 2 parentheses minus 1. And what am I going to plug into this set of parentheses? X squared plus 2. Now, you don't have to do it this way. There's another way to do it. I'm going to show you. And now, negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. And negative 2 times positive 2 is negative what? And what's negative 4 minus 1? So negative 2x squared minus 5 is f composed of g. Now, what do you do with f composed of g once you get it? You evaluate it at negative 4. So you plug negative 4 in. So that'd be negative 2 times parentheses, negative 4 squared, close parentheses, minus 5. And what's negative 4 squared? Positive 16 times negative 2 is negative 32. Negative 32 minus 5 is what? And that's your answer. Either way you do it, you're going to get an answer of negative 37. Okay? Now, what else could you have done? You could have plugged in negative 4 into g. What's negative 4 squared? 16 plus 2 is what? 18, and you could have plugged that in here also. You could have done that. Negative 18 times negative 2, or what did I say? It'd come out to be negative 37 no matter what. I done got my numbers in my head mixed up. Negative 37. And we feel good about ourselves. So we don't have to wear sunglasses inside the building. Okay? Girls, you ever see that? Run fast as you can. Question. If you plug negative 4 in, negative 4 squared is 16. 16 plus 2 is 18. 18 times negative 2 is negative 36. Negative 36 minus 1 is, so either way you do it, you get the same answer. Capiche? Comprende? 2.681/7. Difference quotient. There'll be about 5,000 of these on the test. Okay? So 5,010 problems, you're going to have 5,000 of these on the test. Plug and chug. Do it. Doing that, I'll call the roll right quick. Bowen,
Here.
Brownell, Charles,
Here.
Cooper, Dunlap, Gaddis, Gatson, Gross,
Here.
Haney,
Here.
Hunter, Johnson, Martin is here, Moore, Nixon, Novak is here, Payella is here, Parker,
Here.
Perkins, Rodriguez, Cisco,
Here.
Small, Smith and Smith,
Here.
Tucker,
Here.
Patakis is here, right? Yeah. And Young is
Yeah.
here. Got that done. I hope you do learn how to do these, because if you don't, that's going to be a big part of the test. So the difference quotient says f of x plus h. So that means I got to rewrite this with parentheses in it. -2 parentheses squared plus 8 parentheses plus 2. And then I'm going to put that in brackets. And the reason I'm going to put it in brackets, I'm going to put this in brackets. Right there. Minus, let me move this over. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, Lord. Anyway, like working with uphill. And then minus f of x. F of x is 2x squared, -2x squared, plus 8x, plus 2. And then I'm going to subtract, divide by h. Now, I'm going to use my green pen, and what are we going to plug in here? X plus h and x plus h. Because we all know that when we have f of something, that something is supposed to go in wherever there's an x. Now that's going to give us -2. And that's going to give us shortcut number 1, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And if you don't know where that comes from, then you still haven't learned those shortcuts that I told you you better learn or you're going to fail. Plus 8x plus 8h plus 2 plus 2x squared minus 8x minus 2 all over h. And I'm going to distribute this -2 here, and that's going to give me a negative 2x squared. Of course, this thing's not going to help me out. 2x squared minus 2xh minus h squared. So let's see what cancels. Well, the 2x squared cancels. The 8x cancels. The 2 cancels. And you're left with all what kind of terms? H terms. Hubert, thank you, class. So negative 2 xh minus h squared plus 8h, right? All over h. So your final answer should be negative 2x minus h plus 8. And the first derivative of this is negative 4x plus 8. So we've got something wrong. We've got something wrong. There. I didn't where? Right here?
Yeah.
Well, it should be 2h squared here.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that would make that 2h squared right here. That's still, okay, just forget it. I'm going to start over. Just forget it. I have to start over because I can't have 5 people tell me where everything is because that doesn't work too well. All right, negative 2 parentheses x plus h quantity squared. I appreciate the inputs, but I can't. It just drives me bananas. X plus h plus 2 minus parentheses 2 negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 2 all over h. Negative 2x squared plus be a minus 4. There we go. 4xh. There it is. 4xh plus be a minus 2. I need somebody to check this because I skipped like 3 steps. Somebody check that right quick. Okay. Plus 8x plus 8h plus 2 plus 2x squared minus 8x. Heaven forbid I get any help from this stuff. Hold on. Now that I lost my train of thought. Plus 2x squared minus 8x minus 4 minus 2. Thank you. I'm not going to worry about the 8 right now because that's not really my concern. Minus 2. So take my red marker and the minus 2 cancels. The 8x cancels. The 2x squared cancels. There's my 4. I know the reason I knew it had to be a 4 because of the derivative. So I knew something was wrong from the get-go. So that'd be negative 4x minus 2h plus 8. That should be your answer. Negative 4x plus 8. Yeah. Negative 4x plus 8. That's your answer. So negative 4x, what does that come out to be? Is that a negative? I can't tell. Just stupid. Thank you. Negative 2h plus 8. 8. Okay, I'm about ready to quit. All right, y'all have a good day and keep working on chapter 2, and we'll start chapter 3 hopefully if no more homework questions. We got 3 more homework questions to finish, but I'll do that next time. Okay. Okay, Hubert. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, have a good one.
Bye, bye. You too. Yes. Where was it? Thank you. Appreciate it.